Hey y'all, what's going on? It's Barb Meets World. We're back again to wrap up this season of The Real Housewives of Potomac. This was season 9, episode 17. This was the finale, which was entitled All Bark, No Bite, y'all. But before we get into that, y'all already know housekeeping rules are in effect, which consists of liking the video. Please, please, please like the video, y'all. Liking the video helps me in terms of the algorithm, helps me and my channel to attract new subscribers such as yourself. Okay, so hit the like button. Thank you. Also, hit the subscription button. If you are not already a Barb's babe, please hit the subscription button. I would love to have you. Also, keep the conversation going in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts, opinions of the finale, my commentary, as well as the entire season. And don't forget to share me with your folks. Also check the description box. And here we are. Let me throw up my banner. What's going on, y'all? Please pardon my appearance. Your girl just got back from the gym, but I did not want to keep you guys waiting any longer. So I was like, before I hop in the shower and stuff, let me just go ahead and bang this out. So that's what we're about to do. Y'all, this finale wasn't bad by any means, but it didn't like tantalize my taste buds more than this reunion's going to do. It was cute or whatever. Not too much happened, honestly, but it did pull into question several things that we're going to get into. So let's start off with where we began with this episode, and that is with Karen and Ray. She was picking out what she was going to wear to the event, the charity event by Stacey, and she also shared her desires to rescue puppies that have been bred but shouldn't have been bred. You know, is it going to be called Grand and Dom? Or I was kind of confused. I'm not even going to lie. Nonetheless, she says she has a lot of love to give. And when I saw this part, when I heard this part, when I tell you guys, I had a key in here. I really did, because Ray was like, you can give it to me. Ray stays vying for Karen's attention and affection, and she just does not she does not play into it. It's actually pretty hilarious to watch, but sad at the same time, because as you guys saw in that DUI footage, Ray is the person that's had her back through and through, and let her tell it. She be all stressed out. They be going to do this. Yeah. Anyway, so she also says how, like, yeah, just because she's not walking in the show, she can still show her support. They can still go and show some level of support. And more importantly, why would she support Stacey when Stacey wouldn't be fair and neutral when it came to her and Mia? And most importantly, she has her court case coming up. So she just doesn't have it to do. She doesn't want to deal with any more pain, you know, very much. She leaned hard into this victimhood throughout the season, y'all. You already know, we've been down here talking about it pretty much every episode. Nonetheless, Wendy then tells her the good news, the opportunity that has fallen into her life, and she also invites her to the White House, which looking back on it, you know, Wendy, as long as you can, you know, sleep at night, and I don't think at the same time this makes Wendy a bad person or anything like that. I just hope that going forward she chooses to spend her kindness on people that are more deserving of it, because I'll save that for later. Karen, of course, says yes. She also says that they have a lot more in common than what others may think. When you say that, Karen, do you mean yourself? Because you let us know, or it's been heard through the grapevine, not once, not twice, like it's been heard multiple times at this point, especially in this episode now, that you didn't really see it for Wendy. She wasn't giving Potomac and, you know, all those types of things. So are you really talking about yourself? That you didn't think that you and Wendy had a lot in common until you got past the slithering and she started to show you that she's the quintessential housewife? Because she is, y'all. She is. Especially on this show. And we've seen that in this finale. But the haters are still going to say, just as what is being alleged, that she's self-absorbed and she's so full of herself and na 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 na. I really would not like to hear that come next season. I'm so over that. She is who she is. She's proud of her accomplishments. She should be. Yeah, she should be. And I have no issues with how she comes off. I don't. At least not her accomplishments. Anyway, Stacey has a one-on-one with her friend AJ. He's in town for her event. They go way back to her Chicago days when she was modeling and stuff. And so they sit down to have a bite and a drink or whatever. And he asks her who all she's been hanging out with. She's been hanging out with the girls and, you know, who else, like, who you been hanging out with or whatever. Like, DJ, like, what's up with him? And she says she cannot wait for him to meet TJ. AJ, on the other hand, he can wait. Yeah, he's not amused. He's trying to see what this dude gives. He seems to be very much out of your normal pickings. And I feel like he's a real friend. And I feel like he spoke on a lot of what we're seeing, which is that this is just not the partner that you should probably be trying to partner up with right now, Stacey. He was like, you know, is he not wealthy? What does he do for a living? She was like, he's an actor. He was like, yeah, you're pulling my leg with this one. You're pulling my leg with this one. You know, will the real Stacey Rusch please stand up? Because this is not her. What are you doing, girl? What's going on? You were in a marriage for 16 years. Of course, you should have some living to do. You should be trying to hop on something else, maybe hop on something else over here, use protection. But like, if your friends are saying what we've been saying, then something's up. And the something being, I guess I'll just tell you guys right now, shout outs to Kempire. If you guys subscribe to his content, you will know that he did a recent video talking about how she being Stacey was at his live show. And so afterwards, apparently it's being said by a source that Stacey rented TJ. Yeah, he rented TJ. And you guys know how we're seeing in the reunion clips coming up that he's not there. And she's like, oh, he would never say that. Like, we're getting bits and pieces of what is going on. We know that something is going on or has gone on between her and TJ. He not there. Like, what's up? And the what's up is that she didn't pay him. She was late on her last 2 payments or whatever. So yeah. Now, Stacey, I know a beautiful, smart, seemingly kind in nature woman such as yourself did not come on here in your debut season and rent somebody who we could see from 17 million miles away that they're just not into you. We're going to act like that's not what you just did. You better tell me that's not what you did. And if I heard that that's what you did, then you're getting a red nose on your face every single episode next season. If you come back, you're not going to hear the end of it from me, because I feel like and apparently you've been wanting to come on the show for a while, which is cool or whatever, but this is what you lead with when you actually do get your chance. Because we learn more about him than like you as your person. We would have much rather seen you and AJ or your cousin, auntie, best friend, auntie, whatever. We would have much rather seen all of that than what we got this season, especially if it's superficial. Like, we already knew it was superficial, but this is just like a whole extra layer. And we don't like when y'all come on these shows and play in our faces and try to sell us something that's not real. We want to see your real life. You can't come on the season faking it, because then we're going to call you Mia 2.0. Like, well, do better, Stacey. So again, TJ or AJ not really feeling TJ, and of course, lo and behold, probably because now everything is starting to add up and really start to look like that's exactly what you did, that you rented this guy, because just right on cue, he FaceTimes you. And he tried to get in his feelings real quick because AJ like stuttered a little bit with his name for a second, and it's just like, it's giving animated, it's giving extra for no reason, it's getting, I wouldn't choose you for him as your friend, Stacey. It's giving cornball. All the things that we've said in so many words down here. Yeah. But she gonna do what she want to do, child. So moving on. Ashley has a little family gathering or whatever. She hosts a little celebration at her house for her aunt, which is Uncle Lump's wife, her Aunt Monica. It's her birthday. So it's her mother, Uncle Lump, and they're all there gathered in her kitchen. Her kids, of course, are running around up on the countertops as they always like to be. And she also, this is not just a celebration for her aunt, but it's also a celebration that they toast up for her, which is the fact that her divorce process should be final by next week. Won't he do it? We'll see. We better hear that it has been solidified in at the reunion. We better see it. Anyway, she did have to file a public complaint like she talked about in the previous episode, and he responded accordingly, he being Michael. So please wrap this up right now, because I'm not trying to see in season 10, that's a big one, I'm not trying to see anything or hear anything about Michael or whatever. You better come with some fresh new stories. You better come with some real Ashley. Otherwise, this can be your last season, like people have been speculating. Okay. And then so Josh actually winds up FaceTiming her, and she was calling him all babes and stuff like that. She flips the phone around. Hey, Josh, what's up? They had met him, of course, at her Drag King show, and, thought he was, seemed cool enough or whatever. And so they, they're fond of him, at least enough on the surface, right? But it was crazy to me because she quickly says like, oh no, this is my coworker, when Dean or Dylan, one of them, had ran up to her, like, who's that, whatever. She's like, oh, it's mommy's coworker, whatever. And my whole thing is like, you were just calling him babe 2 seconds ago, and just the energy, just, kids are not stupid, y'all. And I know those boys are young, but Ashley, like, okay, let's be real. You could have played that off better, because that was not convincing in the slightest, girl. Anyway, so Gizelle and her daughters, they're planting a Christmas tree in her backyard in, memory of her father, and the tradition that they shared of picking the annual Christmas tree. So I thought it was a really cute scene between her and her daughters. This is when Gizelle comes to life. If it got anything to do with her daughters, that's when we're going to see the genuine side to her. And again, it's an act to symbolize, an intent to making this next chapter of her life super fulfilling and to keep her father's memory alive, right? So they were struggling at first to dig the hole, but it did allow for them to, laugh and talk about how he's probably up there laughing at them hysterically, watching them struggle to plant this tree, which in the end, they did not get any leeway in digging any holes. It was sitting right up on, it was pretty much on top of all of the dirt, all the entire lawn. It was not below it at all. She was like, I'm gonna let my people, do that, whatever. But it was cute enough for the scene's sake, right? And they got a little plaque and everything, which I thought was cute. And so another thing about this scene was when Gizelle talks about how she was getting a little sad and she didn't want to cry. And it was actually the girls that reassured her and let her know, like, it is okay to be emotional. I'm like, Gizelle, your daughters are telling you that, then like, come on with it. Because and I get it, y'all. Everybody grieves. Everybody shows, their sadness in different ways. I am by no means saying that she needed to, go about this in a way that I or you would go about this. But it just seems like she would be she'd be a lot more relatable. That's for damn sure. She would be a lot more digestible if she would show us, you know, a bit of emotion from time to time. But she's so freaking rigid all the time that it just is so easy for us to refer to her as a hater, because haters are, you know, cold a lot of times, right? Anyway, then we see Wendy's White House visit. You know, where is my hand clasp? Because we got to give it up to the girl. If nobody else is going to give you your flowers, Wendy, we definitely will give you your flowers down here. Yeah. Here, Miss Man. You know, give it up to the girl. She said this is something she wanted to do since she had brought this show to us. She wanted to interview somebody down at the White House, and you know, come January, which it's February now, so as of here on forward, at least for the next 4 years, she ain't about to be rolling down there. So I understand that, Wendy. Well, I will definitely not be looking out for you down those parts, those necks of the woods anytime soon. I get it. So she got it out of her system right here, and I fully support that. Eddie, I love watching him be so supportive of her, and also how the kids are witnessing this. And he was telling them, like, you know, this could be any of you, like this could be within y'all's reach, like this could be y'all's future as well. I think that's awesome. That's an awesome representation matters, as it was said. And this just really is a great example for them, for their kids to look up to, and you know, every Black people, Black women, queer individuals, because Corinne Jean-Pierre does fall into all those categories. So I think it was an awesome conversation. I'm sure I have not gotten a chance to go down there to Wendy's YouTube channel to watch, but I definitely will be watching that this evening, because I'm curious to know all of what was talked about. Obviously, we got a snippet in this scene, but we also see her being so excited to see the Grand Dame, Karen, as well, because we know that, as I said earlier, Karen was invited by Wendy to indulge in this celebratory moment and this awesome opportunity that she received. And again, according to Karen, they have so much in common. Yeah, definitely. And yep, that's pretty much it for that scene. Then we move right along to the charity event. And come to find out, it's not just Stacey's event, but she had invited TJ on to co-host with her. Yeah, that was my face when I heard that. And especially knowing now that allegedly you just rented this dude, like, was this a part of the payment system? Maybe she used this as a payment, like as reimbursement for his time, for him to come up here and you know, also share in hosting this event. Maybe that was what it was. I don't know, but it's kind of crazy to bring him all the way up into the fold like this, and this is just, you know, a for hire person, unbeknownst to us. That's crazy. Nonetheless, she not only is going to be debuting dogs, y'all, for adoption, she debuted a new hairstyle as well. Dang, that's what I meant to do. I meant to get a picture of the hairstyle, because I'm not going to say it was the worst thing I've ever seen, y'all, but it gave very much no ma'am. And I don't know, it was like, I'm like, you need to take a picture out of Kelly Rowland's book or something. I feel like Kelly does a like messy-ish kind of bob, like really good. I think that she could have went on Pinterest, because it just wasn't right. And of course, I think it was Mia and Ashley that had came in to let her know, like, yeah, this is not it's not giving what it's supposed to give, Stacey boo. But at the same time, I was like, it's hella ironic that those two are the ones that brought up her hairstyle because honestly, if we're being real, me and Ashley, y'all's hair gives questionable 8 times out of 10. And Mia, for damn sure, all season you were bopping around with that blonde hair and it looked a tacky ass mess. So I'm like, you are one to talk. Try again. Pot me kettle. Right? That was so annoying to me. And you know who also wasn't a fan of the hair? TJ. Not that we care what he thinks, but this is probably one thing that me and him can agree on. One thing that we were in sync about. Yeah, no, don't wear this no more. Don't wear this no more, Stacey. Absolutely not. What else? So he actually takes her to the side for a moment, or that was actually after we had this weird interaction between him and AJ where he was, I don't want to say checking him, but I'm just like, what are you trying, like, are you trying to convince us, yourself, who, like, basically that they're doing everything in support, like they're all one team in support of her, and that's just what we're gonna do. Like, it was shut up, TJ. What are you talking about? Just weird. And then that's when TJ takes her to the side and it talks about, him having some skepticism about the relationships. Like, I'm just, at this point, I can't fall into whatever they're talking about until I know the truth. And I guess we'll figure that out not next week, because Super Bowl, I guess the week after that, we'll start to dive into this. I can't wait, y'all. Because she's so trying to convince us that she's so committed to him. And I want different for her. I do. So as the ladies start to trickle in, and Karen walks in, I should say, or even before Karen walks in, Vivian had asked Stacey, like, what's going on between you and Karen? Like, are y'all beefing or whatever? And Stacey's like, not that I know of. Like, and AJ was also reassuring her too, like, well, I mean, if that's the case, she wouldn't be here. Like, she's coming. So, like, yeah, because usually when you have beef with somebody, you're not going to their events. Then again, this is Housewives. So y'all already know. But Stacey asks Karen to talk when she comes in, and Karen agrees, and they step to the side and they begin to talk about what went down at Ashley's Drag King event, and this is where Karen confronts Stacey about not supporting her during that dispute between her and Mia. And as they're talking, we also have Jacqueline, Kay, Jassi, and Vivian wondering what they're talking about. And then we have Jacqueline actually speaking for Mia to say, like, it wasn't the time or place for anyone to be talking about her child's paternity and such at a drag show. And then it's also up to Mia when she wants to, or if she even wants to, speak on her child's paternity. Which I mean, I could understand that, but Mia, you got to get your friend together too, because she has her stuff about her just as well. Two things can be true at the same time. Y'all know I love to say that. And then meanwhile, with Stacey and Karen, she's speaking up for herself, which, kudos to Stacey. I have to give her that much, because she's not trying to hear it, and rightfully so, because I can name multiple times this season where Stacey was spearheading a defense group for Karen, specifically at Lake Norman. And Karen tries to sit up in Stacey's face and act like she doesn't remember that. That didn't happen. No, not at all. And in the end, she wants to try to be cute. And, all of what we're seeing is letting us know that the DUI footage and all of that is still very much how Karen looks at herself, how she looks at other people. We got everything we needed to know in that footage, because even right here, she's all like, etiquette 201, zip it. girl, goodbye. We're not going back to that hoity-toity season 1, Jack and Jill moms, Potomac. We're not going back to that, and we're not going back to it here. We're never going back to it because that's not truly who you are at your heart. So you telling me to zip it, Stacey's better than me. But she kept it real cute, and she didn't let this knock her off of her square. And okay, I will say I did laugh when Karen brought that scarecrow in to symbolize her kicking Stacey out of the group because she brought her in the group, so she gonna kick her right out. See, you think that you have all this power, Karen, and that's what landed you in the situation that you're in currently. Just saying. Stacey was like, please don't put your fingers in my face. Karen was like, I'm just pointing or whatever. And you're starts calling her raggedy. Talking about how she dresses, which joke's on you, Karen, because this is actually Vivian's design. So are you talking about, are you talking badly about her designs? Like, what's up? I thought that was cute. That was funny. Karen couldn't even, she didn't see that one coming clearly. And I also laughed too when she was drinking a drink and Stacey's like, what are you drinking? She's like, hard liquor. That was funny. Now on the flip side though, y'all, and I'm by no means trying to ride the fence and be a Karen. Haha, get it? Y'all got that? Yeah. I know. I'm hilarious, right? Anyway, what I will say is that Stacey, I still have to kind of watch you with a side eye a bit too in this whole situation, because I feel like you were trying to do the right thing or whatever, but at the same time, I don't like when people wait for the tides to turn or for something to happen for them to, speak on their friends negatively or let it be known something that their friend said or, something to that degree. Like, don't reveal secrets just when you're upset. That means that you've been harboring this, and that can also make people look at you like you're kind of disingenuous because like you had this up your sleeve this whole time. Like, if you really are truly somebody's friend, it would never be in your sleeves waiting to be released at any point. Y'all get what I'm saying? I just wanted to throw that out there. What else happened? And Karen, you also trying to bring up what you allegedly heard about Stacey, which consists of her just driving through the same stop sign 3 times, which, don't get me wrong, y'all, I'm not saying that any type of traffic infractions are not serious just because, you're comparing it to a DUI. You could still get hurt from running a stop sign or hurt somebody for that matter. But Karen, I see what you tried to do there. And again, pot meat kettle. Like you can't talk about nobody, and you trying to dig up dirt on somebody else is not helping your cause. I believe you said that. Wendy believes you said that. Everybody around you believes you said that. So just keep it a buck, please. Anyway, so then Gizelle walks in, y'all. And when Gizelle walks in, she walks in a particular dress. And this particular dress was one that Stacey said that none of them could wear, specifically Wendy, because she didn't want to be upstage at her event. And I was like, girl, I hope that's not really the case. Like, did you like, okay, fine. If it's a birthday, then I understand you wanted to be like the main attraction, if you will, or something like that. Like, I understand you not wanting to be, I guess, upstage or whatever, I guess, for something like that. But at the same time, I don't really care about stuff like that because I'm always come through how I come through. And I actually want my people to come through how they're going to come through too. And I want us all to look good. But that's just me, just saying. In this case, though, I got to give it to Jizzy. That was funny. That was some Real Housewives. That's the fun shade that we'd like to see, y'all. Like, just keep it right here with us, Jizzy. Just keep it right here. Don't drop no lower. Just keep it right here, okay? She shows up in the dress that Stacey said that she didn't want nobody wearing. Gizelle lets us know that a day or two after that or whatever, she went right back around to Vivian's and picked it right up on up and decided to wear it anyway. And I thought that was hilarious. And Stacey knows that she was big mad, and that's why she called Gizelle Big Bird, okay? That was probably one of the most funny parts of the episode for me, y'all. Okay. So everybody was showing up with their dudes, of course, right? Kay, though, she was alone. Greg was not with her. Hallelujah. Oh, did I just say that out loud? I'm sorry. She says that they're in an interesting space right now, and cohabitating has just caused them to bring out, you know, sides of them that are just not the best. And ever since that fight, they just cannot get back on track. They can't agree. They can't even agree to disagree. And it's made her realize that they need to take a step back. A step back being things like this, I'm assuming, where she has now attended this event alone. I'm not mad at that at all. Honestly, if that's where we ended things with them, if they don't break up during the off season just because or whatever, for whatever reason, then I will definitely say that if she does come back next season, I just don't see I don't see him filming with her. And honestly, this is one of those things that I feel like we constantly have a battle over, like whether or not housewives cast members should be on these shows, if their significant others are not going to be on there with them and stuff like that, because that's always been the gist of the show. Is you come on here, we see your significant others, we see your kids, we see, you know, the whole nine. And if he's not going to do that with you, I mean, but it's a little different between them because they're not married. So I would say that you know, especially if he has his own space and stuff like that, I could see her kind of, you know, playing it that way and it not being a big deal by her saying like, well, I mean, he lives separately. Like, yeah, we're together, but they still would want to see y'all's phone conversations at least, though. Anyway, I say all that to say, like, yeah, we sometimes feel like that's not fair, but then we see, I mean, Ashley, yes, she is going to divorce or whatever, but even before they filed for divorce or whatever, her and Michael, like, he wasn't actively filming. We never saw Juan ever, really. So it's not uncommon that we've seen it on other franchises too, that if you guys watch Roni, The Real Housewives of New York City, Oliver, Uba's boo, said he don't want no parts of it. Jenna's boo says she don't want no parts of it, and that was all good in the hood. So I'm assuming that Kay would still be afforded that luxury, but I mean, it also, I feel like, depends on if you're going to be an asset to the show. Like, you don't really have any bargaining power if you're not really giving. Just saying. So anyway, Ashley decides to inform Gizelle about what Stacey said, that Karen said. We do see that unseen footage between Stacey and Ashley, so that's not made up. Like, they did actually have a one-on-one where Stacey did tell her these things. Gizelle says that, you know, she wasn't surprised because these are things that she's told Wendy before that Karen has said and talked about her negatively. But Wendy didn't want to hear it because it was coming from Gizelle. So I can understand both sides of that. And instead of listening to her, Wendy has just continued to pucker her lips up to Karen's ass. And I really hope, and I said this earlier, that Wendy now knows who to spend her kindness on and who not to spend her kindness on going forward. I hope she does. And I get it. You can't be on these shows and be at odds with everybody. A lot of these relationships, conversations, things like that, a lot of those things are done strategically. But Wendy, especially now, Karen, even in the past, I feel like Karen has, y'all give certain people too much power sometimes. Things can be reversed and you can yield a lot more power than y'all give yourselves credit for sometimes, I feel like. Meaning you didn't need to kiss up to Karen at the same time, because we've seen numerous times, especially this season, where you showed up for Karen and Exhibit A, she don't show up for you in that same capacity. Even in this episode, you inviting her to the White House. Like, don't do that no more. And also, we need to see more content coming from you, Wendy, too. Going back to the interview and stuff like that, we need to see more content because you haven't really put up much on YouTube. And I get it, you're not as available as, you know, us smaller content creators down here and stuff like that. You know, us regular folks, I get it, but you could have put some more stuff out, I feel like. this season, especially, yeah, you could have put out some more stuff. And yes, you did drop this episode of the interview today or last night or whenever, but I still think you could do like one better, and you could have, you know, put out a lot more content. I feel like you could have. Anyway. So Gizelle, of course, wants to go confront Karen. So her and Ashley, they go over, they confront Karen, with Ashley being more so the mouthpiece in that. And Gizelle says, you know, this happens every time in the group. When someone comes new into the group, Karen takes them to the side right off the bat and tries to basically initiate them onto her team, or at least in the least plant seeds in their heads. And it is clearly is backfired. And I believe that. I do believe that. At the same time, in comes Wendy looking amazing. Ate the girls up like she always does. And when Stacey, you know, reiterates what Karen said, and how, you know, she also labeled Mia as not Potomac and described Wendy as self-absorbed and not a girl's girl, all those things. Karen immediately denies it, of course. She says she never said that. You know, do you believe that, Wendy? Like, don't believe that, you know, the whole nine. And what really solidified in everybody's minds, if they were skeptical up until this point, they definitely weren't after this, because Stacey says that, no, like, Karen, we definitely did meet. You know, you took me to your favorite mom and pop shop, the restaurant in Potomac called Tally Ho, which is the same exact place that we seen Gizelle and her go to during episode 1 of this season. And that's when Gizelle was like, oh yeah, like you took them to the spot. Like you definitely did that. You did that. And even how Karen she wasn't even denying it with as much venom as she does about other stuff, because she knows this is true. She knows she's backed against the corner. There was nowhere else for her to go. And I feel like, especially because it was Wendy, and, you know, Karen can hold her own. Obviously, there's not too many people that can rumble when it comes to her, and verbally spar when it comes to things, when it comes to Karen. I do feel like there's, you know, certain individuals that do fit the bill on ones that could go toe to toe with her, and Wendy is one of them. Candace being another one. And I feel like that had a lot to do with Karen just being cool on it, and also realizing too, like I said before, you're a fool, Karen, because you definitely, Wendy's somebody who you'd much rather want on your team. I feel like that, and I ain't never met that lady a day in my life, but I do definitely see Wendy being somebody who you would want to be friends with and continue to be friends with. And you know, you were dead ass wrong. You was just at the White House on behalf of this lady, and you was talking about she not Potomac, she not this, she not that. Is it not Potomac also running into trees? But you did that, allegedly. I mean, we don't know, y'all. It's looking like maybe there's somebody else in the car too, which would be insane if we find out that's the truth. But as it stands right now, you run into trees. I don't really think that's Potomac-ish. Just saying. And then they also played back the numerous times where Wendy has had Karen's back. Like, and Wendy actually speaks up and says that, how she's tried to ride for Karen. She's been a friend to Karen. And again, Karen knows that she said that she does. She definitely does. And Mia really didn't care too much about it, because she was too busy ordering a dog bed. She ain't got it to do when it comes to Karen. She's been over being torn apart by Karen. So it is what it is. And mind you, while they're having this conversation over with the guys, Eddie was making jokes about pressuring Darius to propose. And I'm like, Jassi, still don't know about that one. Still don't know about that one, boo, because he was like, you know, it's coming. It's coming. Okay, I'll believe it when I see it. / I still don't know if that's who you should be with. But anyway, so then all the ladies, they walk, the show commences. And again, it was her being Stacey and TJ. they were on the mics, and out walks each of the ladies with corresponding dogs. And as they're doing that, Karen is talking Cal's ear off about her doggy rescue plans. His face was confused just as much as mine was. And so when Wendy comes out, Stacey mentions how she's the only one of her friends that actually have adopted a puppy so far. And y'all, when I say Eddie was shocked beyond measure, if you don't believe me, that was his face. He was like, we could have consulted about this at a minimum, because last time I checked, Zoe, their current dog, you don't take her to the vet, you don't walk her, you don't pick up poop, like you don't do nothing. And you just went out here and got another dog? Like, we should have had a conversation. Wendy was in the moment. She was just, just caught in the moment, and now they got 2 dogs. Sorry. I thought that was funny, but still, Wendy, like, that was kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie. But y'all, unfortunately, in the end, the show was ruined and became a literal shit show when, out of nowhere, the DJ decides to do this big gush of fog, like the fog machine and stuff like that. Dogs are all out there, and of course they get startled and begin to defecate all over the place, to the point that Karen runs off retching. Everybody's like, what the are you serious? Why would they do that? Was that planned? What the hell? You got Jacqueline over here with her. Jacqueline said the one thing that she said all season that actually made me laugh in this moment, y'all. And that was when she was like, was this planned? Was Karen behind this? Was she just trying to ruin Stacey's event? I thought that was actually really funny and appropriate. Mind you, still not going to say you should come back, Jackie, but that was funny. I'm going to give you that, girl. You learned at least one thing this season. Yeah. So again, it just kind of went real crazy, real chaotic. But on a positive note, both Wendy and Mia wound up adopting dogs. And then, y'all, after that, we just get the ending cast updates, which consist of, first and foremost, we see Kay's was her and Greg tried moving into their new home together, but Kay moved out soon after. Kay stands by her girl math and still expects a ring in early 2025. Huh? You guys just moved backwards 25 steps, but you're still thinking it's gonna be. No, clearly y'all need to put some more years in. I shouldn't even say that, because ultimately I don't think that you guys are compatible. And I think that you're just going to continue to diminish yourself in order to remain compatible. So whatever, girl. Anyway, Ashley is still casually dating Josh, but her priorities are healing and thriving as an almost single woman and drag king. Did I mention that before, y'all? I don't think I did. When she was with her family, Ashley broke out into song, and I really wanted her to stop just as much as her family did, because an expression could say 1,000 words for real. And I don't think that they wanted to hear about no healing and thriving at all. Anyway, Gizelle is now officially an empty nester and loving it. She has rekindled things with Nams and is open to him taking a dip in her love lagoon. Are we getting that show? I'm still wondering about that. Wendy has a new position teaching a class on reality TV at Wesleyan University. She is enjoying being self-absorbed in her own life. I'm not mad at it. Let you do that. Stacey is in the final stage of her divorce. With that burden almost lifted, she is looking forward to a very unstiff 2025. Mia and Gordon spent New Year's together with their kids. She and Ink broke up a month prior. Yeah, okay. But as the saying goes, Ink is never gone for good. And we didn't get an update right then and there for Karen, and it kind of fades to darkness with us seeing that her significant update consists of 5 months later. It's the morning of her trial. We see her and Ray en route to the courthouse. And in the end, as we know, she was found guilty in her DUI case, with sentencing pending and her facing up to 2 years in jail. And we still do not know what the final verdict is going to be, because she's postponed her next date because she had got a whole new legal team and stuff, y'all. So anyway, that's all I got for this episode. I mean, again, the finale was cute or whatever, but it wasn't like I was like falling off my chair like, oh my gosh. And I kind of felt like that for this like latter half of this season, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, and I think I've expressed that we started off pretty good, and ultimately I still think it is a much more positive show than it was in the past, but nonetheless, I still was very much like, okay, this is cute or whatever, but it wasn't like must-see TV to the point of, Salt Lake City has been or whatever this season. Just saying. Nonetheless, I want to know your final comments about the season, or actually, I'll wait for that until the reunion. It's a 3-parter, right? Yeah, I believe so. I'll wait until we get into all of those to have that conversation. And yeah, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, do all of the things. Check the description box. Follow me on all my socials that I've been scrolling along on the screen for this entire video. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.